as you got this business going, right? Every entrepreneur knows that sometimes, sometimes it's tough. Like sometimes
It
it's
is
pretty
tough.
darn hard.
Yes.
And there's some lefts and there's some rights and there's all kinds of different directions you go. Um,
Yeah.
is there a particular roadblock that you could share that you kind of ran into and maybe how you tackled that and what you did to overcome it?
Yeah. Well, gosh, there were so many roadblocks. I think the first thing that comes to mind, I might share more than one. The first thing that comes to mind is, really understanding the language that our customers want to hear. That
Mm,
language that they speak, because even within our industry, right, there are a lot of different terms and terminology that's thrown around. Wash, dry, fold, fluff and fold. Like it's so much stuff. And so understanding the language that our customers are speaking to me was a roadblock, partly because I am naturally introverted.
okay.
And it's difficult for me to ask people what I really need to know. I stand back a lot. I work in the
Yeah.
backgrounds, which is why my business works well for me, because we're not customer facing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that means that when the customer does have an interaction with us, because we're, silent, we have to really deliver a good product. But understanding what the customer needs, understanding what their language is, what makes sense for them, was a roadblock. And another thing for me that was a roadblock and kind of challenging was finding the right partner on,
Mm,
I guess, marketing and ads and that kind of
yeah.
thing. Again,
Yeah.
that's another space that's super crowded. A lot of people, they're smart and they know some things, but when you are a mobile business, it makes it it makes the landscape a little bit different for you in terms of how you bring the customers in and the information that you share with them. And so finding a marketing partner that works, and
Mm.
that can deliver is super important, and it can be a roadblock for a lot of people. And it was one for us.
When you were thinking about that, right? Like how did you, what reflecting back on that, what was the thing that made it work? Like how did you know when you found the right partner? What were some of those kind of things?
Wow, the phone was ringing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it. The the
Wh-
the phone the
Customers were
phone
coming.
was
Yeah.
ringing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the phone was ringing, and it wasn't just ringing with people asking questions. It was ringing with people saying, we're ready to go now. And that tells me that my marketing person and my ads person was giving them all of the information that they needed to make a decision. And that is the
Yeah.
most important thing. And I think about this for laundromats. Most oftentimes laundromats, they struggle to answer the phone, right? And so making
Yeah.
sure that those websites and those, anything, their marketing collateral that they put out for the client, making sure that it answers their questions is going to be super super important. But that's what it was. It was
Yeah.
getting the right information, the right message out there, so that people can make a decision whenever they're ready, but make a decision.
Yeah, I mean, it's really like this has changed over the years, but it's really this concept of buyer enablement or customer
Uh-huh.
enablement, right? So
Uh-huh.
everybody's so much more researched as they're going through these things. You got to feed
Yes.
them so that they can get what they need and they can move down that funnel from like awareness. I know about your company. Now I
Mm-hmm.
kind of understand a little bit more. Now I want to take some action. There's some desire. Okay, now I'm converted. Now I've taken that action
Yes.
and I'm a customer. So yeah, you
Absolutely.
got to do all those things right along the way, or they're never going to come through the funnel.
They're never going to come through the funnel. And that's what our marketing um, partner did for us, right? And it took a lot of burden off of us. All we had to do was make sure we
Yeah,
get to the phone, or all we had to do was make sure that we were able to connect with them, whatever their mode of communication was.
and then deliver right. Then you had to
Oh, and
deliver,
then,
not physically deliver, but
yeah.
deliver on the promise of what you said
Yes.
you were going to do. Yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the core of our business, right? You know, pick up and delivery, that's what we do. But it is me my job to make sure that my laundry partner has everything that they need and all the resources that they need to be able to do that part. Whether it's, sometimes I think about it, I tell them, I get a little crazy. If someone calls and says, "Hey, we got 50, uh, we got 50 rugs that's 9 by 12 and, we need
Yeah.
them back tomorrow." I'm like, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, why not? And I say those things, before I speak to my laundry partner, but we've gotten so in sync at this point that, I know what their capacity is. I know what they can handle. Their team is essentially my team. Now, I don't always give them direct instruction, but
Yeah.
I talk to them about what we need or what the client needs, and they talk to me about what they've seen or what they're seeing. We have this open communication, and this it's just like of a forum way of working, right? It's two-way communication. My team is their team is my team, and we while we are separate, we are one group.